Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. My goodness, we have E Breezy says, "Hey, Maran, how you doing?" Hello, Easy. And Aman is here, and everything he says, poor thing, is held for review. Why? What have you done? Aman says, "Hi, Maran, 19, male India. Thank you for that, dear." And let me open Aman's. Says, "I wanted to ask the guy who calls me gay indirectly, he's not going to break contact with me when I avoid him. He still thinks I'm gay and repressing it, but he's not going to break contact with me." Well, then you can tell him, listen, you enjoy calling me that, that's not friendship, because I'm not, and I don't enjoy it. So either you stop it, or simply, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. That's it. And he says, should I tell him directly about HOCD to stop him calling me something else? No. Don't need to talk about things that is, none of people's business. You just tell them, look, you may think that way, but that's your thinking. So you better fix your thinking. And whatever it is that, there are lots of people who may not be expressing themselves like you do or other people do, and they're just as manly as it comes, just as that's their personality. So I want you to respect that and stop that. Otherwise, simply just go find other friends. MWCND says, hi, Mehran. John, how are you? Thank you very much. And Ali, and remember the age, remind me. I don't remember all the ages. I remember people, but not necessarily age. It's hard, it's difficult enough to remember all of you because there's no name here. I have to remember S. Breezy, I have to remember MWCND. It just doesn't tell me anything. So it's not that easy to remember. So don't forget to let me know. You're in where? Norway? Are you in Norway? Am I remembering it right? And Falcon Fire says, my girlfriend broke up with me. Well, all right, it's time to find a new one. And he says, I want my GF back. No. You want a better GF. Why would you want a GF back? She had her chance and she didn't want to be with you. So why would you want a girl who doesn't want to be with you? That's not a girlfriend. That's a disqualifier. Just disqualify her for the fact that she left. She broke up. She had her chance to be with you, but she somehow broke up for whatever reason. Who cares? The fact is that she's broken up. And if someone breaks up with you, is not qualified to be your girlfriend. Why would you want her back? There's so many other beautiful, amazing, wonderful, intelligent, kind, helpful, caring girls that you can connect with. Why do you have to have her back? But the world's ass opened up and she fell down, that she's the only one? No. You have made her to feel like she's the only one. Why? First of all, let me have your age, and that is important for me. If you guys don't have, don't remember the protocol, then you should. Because if I don't have the protocol, age, gender, and where you're tuning in from, I'll just pass by. Because pretty much, honestly, it's kind of, I've said that 100 million times. Look, Chester is down here. It says M27 Hawaii. That's it. Three little things. M/27 Hawaii. M is the age. I'm sorry. Medium age. M is the gender. 27 is age. Hawaii is where he comes from. So that's the end of it. And so we have, so I don't care if you guys are young, old, been here 10 times or not, or man, woman, however your gender is, just please share that. And here it is. It says, hey, sir, 19M Assam, India. See, there you go. Simple. 19M. Male, Assam, India. And MWCND says 17, says male 19 Norway. See, that's all I want. So Falcon, go for it. Falcon says, I also from India. All love from India. Yeah, okay, okay. Now, yeah, India, Pakistan, Iran, New Zealand, Australia, Germany, France, all wonderful. But gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Now I know where you're tuning in from. I don't know the age and I know the gender. So go for it. And we have Aman says, the problem is I'm feeling awkward because it's awkward for a man to discuss it with other men about it. Yeah, you don't have to. Especially when he have a gay image of mine in his head. Well, it's no problem being gay or not being gay. It's the fact that if you're not, then you wouldn't be appreciating his calling you that. That's all. Otherwise, gay, not gay, straight, gay, we're all human beings. So it's not that. It's the fact that you okay. You're not. It's like I don't know if certain kind of food if I don't like and they keep putting it in front of me, I say, well, why do you do that? You know that I don't like that food. It's not that the food is bad, many other people like it. Just I don't have the taste for that food. So why don't you respect that? Simple. That's all. You got to get him to understand that. If he doesn't, then just walk away. Say, okay, have a nice day. I don't have to be friends with you. A friend is someone who actually supports, and it's supportive to bring balance to the environment that you guys are interacting and conversing. If the friend wants to pick on you and make you uncomfortable, that's not a friend. That's someone who's got problems and wants to feel good by putting somebody down or somehow making somebody feel bad. However, like somebody is allergic to, I don't know, peaches or apple. It doesn't mean apple or peaches are bad. It just means that, look, he has allergic reaction to it. So don't bring apple or peaches in front of him. That's not friendship. So Falcon Fire says, time to spam. What? Falcon Fire says, okay, thanks. I don't get it. I don't get it. Watcher says, oh, why? My goodness, you haven't been around for a long time, have you? Says, hi, man, it's been a while. Yeah, it has. From Toronto, 24 mail. Thank you for that. How is things over there on the West Coast? Well, for the first time, I guess, after a while, the number are going down, so that's good news. So looking forward to see normalization, hopefully. And Chester says, male 27, Hawaii. Aloha, Meran. Aloha, Chester. Says, did you get my Skype message? No, I haven't. I haven't. Let me check. Because today I've been out most of the time and I haven't had time to check anything. And even right now that I'm sitting here, I just finished wash the dishes. Just trying to finish that before. Made dinner, had dinner, washed dishes, and have my tea in front of me, and here I am. So I never had the chance to check any email or messages because most of them are my smaller laptop. This is a bigger computer desktop that I'm using. It's Apple and it's kind of thin, but it's still on. And I don't have my everything hooked up here. Like for example, Skype, I gotta reboot it, which is being rebooted right now. And now I see a notification. That's for update. That's not for you. And I don't see any message from Chester. Chester, you sure you sent it? Maybe it takes a while before it loads. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, I've got 4 messages. Oh really? Oh really? I didn't get it. So let me see. Oh, that's funny. I forgot to turn it off. Let's. That's terrible, is it? Let me see if it's still. God knows how many hours was that. It's 2 hours and 51 minutes. So that means it's shut off eventually. It's still processing. All right. I'll put it on unlisted until I check it. So all right. So I don't know. What did I say anything? Did I do anything weird while it was on? So, did you guys hear anything inappropriate? Because I think because I was rushing to go to an appointment, and I don't know. So Chester, what was it? Was it just on, or sound was coming in? Was I talking anywhere? Was I doing something? Did I have my clothes on? My shirt off or what? I was just trying to get ready to go to my appointment. I think I turned it off, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. So anyhow, was I on the phone? Maybe I was on the phone. No, I forgot. Anyhow, you let me know. Aditya says, best work, sir. Love from India. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you for being here. Falcon says nothing. Jalil says, hi, 21 Jalil, Ohio. Oh, hello, Jalil. That's a Persian name. Are you Persian? And Ohio. S. Breezy says, why do backdoor spikes feel so real? They do. Look, okay, let me see if I can maybe add something here. Look, our species leaves a legacy or leaves its mark not through interaction between neurons. We die, all our flesh and neurons all disappear. They evaporate. They fossilize. They don't even fossilize. They just turned into dust. So there is the bones stay, but our species cannot leave a mark or history of how it survived or how it was through the interactions and the information passed through neurons and so on, because they don't exist after we die. What mark we leave in the world is through action. So our brain is designed to move thoughts to action because that's how it preserves the species and shows that it was alive once it was alive. So its program is to push the brain into action. Now, if it is now malfunctioning and it has intrusive thoughts, that part is malfunctioning, that doesn't shut off the intrusive thoughts automatically. But the program of turning thoughts into action so it can preserve and show that it was alive, and it doesn't know what it is that it's turning into action. It's just programmed to turn thoughts into, it's just programmed that through action we can preserve our existence in a way of that our species was here. So that programming could have something to do with the fact that thought feels so real because it feels like it's part of its program to turn any shit that shows up into action. That's why then your role is very important as the leader, boss, owner of this entity with different programming, such as the program in the brain that turn thoughts into action, that you are supposed to be the one who disses, ignores, vetoes, or chooses what can have life to leave your mark on this earth by that action, and what thought is not qualified, is not of your interest, does not represent you, therefore you will not allow any thought that is not qualified to turn into action, because that is not how you would want to leave your mark here. So your veto and your choices is exactly where the power is, and that's why the mind, you, and the brain are two separate systems. Otherwise, if it was up to brain, because it has no character, no understanding, no personality, no persona, no life in actuality, it is not you, it's an apparatus, not the you. Therefore, it is not given the power to turn thoughts to action. It is given to you, because you are the one who can allow, give life, or let the thought die where it pops up. And but before you make that decision, every thought seems real because it is programmed to be turned into action, and not that it knows what it is that is requesting to turn into action. It's just programmed. Any thought that comes up should be so real and then be motivating the owner to turn it into action, which the owner doesn't get fooled by, doesn't, doesn't miss a beat on these sort of things, and knows that the owner, you, is the leader, is the trainer, is the definer of you by his vetoes and choices. And that's perhaps could be something that sheds some light on why these things feel so real, or convincing and all that. All right. Aditya Kumar says 26 male you're talking about something to eat, paneer topping. That's not where you are. Aditya, what's going on? You're pulling my leg here. 26 male, paneer is cheese, so I don't know if that's a name of somewhere that you are, or you're just having fun. And Aman says, as you said now, there is no problem if somebody calls you gay, but when he indirectly calls me, my fake sensation and urges and physical reactions get affected and activate due to this condition. Look, it doesn't matter. You know the truth, therefore it doesn't matter what people say or don't say. You say, oh, it's no different than a thought showing up, intrusive thought. How do you deal with it? You ignore it. Same thing. They say things, you explain to them, say, listen, that to me is not interesting. Therefore, I want you to stop. If you don't stop, I simply will not want to be friends with you. Do you understand that? Tell him it's like I keep calling you a certain word that does not represent you, and regardless of how you act or talk or sound or whatnot, if it doesn't represent you and you tell me it doesn't represent you, you're not interested in me addressing you that way, then I should stop. And same thing for you. So just tell him that's the last time I'm going to tell you, otherwise you just move on. And Watcher says 24 male Toronto, how can I stay consistently determined, motivated in my dreams and goals? Well, it's not that easy these days because of the pandemic and all the limitations that has been put on everybody in the world. However, you just keep those dreams and goals in mind, keep them refreshed, keep planning for it, and make as many steps, however small they could be, towards their fruition, regardless of if you can actually implement most of it or not. Just do whatever is possible toward that direction, and translate those goals into the difference that it makes to the quality of your life and what you want to see out of this life. That is perhaps the way you can keep yourself motivated given the situation today. It's not a sin not to have to constantly think about the future and just enjoy the moment, which is the actuality and reality. So you don't have to constantly be thinking about, oh, I got to be motivated. Yeah, you're motivated. You're doing whatever you can, and do your best. And different time, different things. Right now, if you can't take action towards bringing your goals to fruition, well, then prepare or study or educate yourself or learn something that you want. But in general, it's okay to live in the moment and enjoy the actuality through the efforts you're making in that present moment, in the now, and feel life in that way rather than you're living, but your focusing is not here. You're focusing somewhere in the future, how it should be, how you want it to be, how your goals should be. Well, there's time for that. When you're actually having the opportunity to unleash yourself on that task, you will. But when you see that, okay, there's nothing you can do about it right now, then just focus on enjoying the moment and life as it is. Steven says, hi, Maron. Hello, Steven. Excuse me. Aman says, when I was around 12 or 13, we jokingly used to call my friend and he also called me gay to each other on silly things. Yeah, it's been a kind of customary the way that young people used to use that word in different connotations, meaning something like, it's not exactly the standards that they are used to or hope for, or something that it was used in a way that it shouldn't have been used. But I've seen many young people have done that. And says to each other until things, but due to HOCD, I get offended easily due to my fake sensation. Get aroused. No, in fact, don't get offended. Get used to the fact that the words are words. The meaning of it does not change you or mean anything, and just okay, we're fine. Let your anxiety get used to these words. It's not a big deal. When you see some man who looks nice, and you recognize that it looks good, it's good looking, like Sean Connery or Cary Grant or Brad Pitt, or say, yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it's good looking. It's good. Must have lots of attention from the girls, and maybe you say, I wish I was that good looking, or maybe I am. Just that's how you deal with it. It's not a big deal. You shouldn't be offended. Just okay. If it's someone, your friend says it and they don't mean anything, and you're not getting insulted because you know that they're just being how you guys used to be, yeah, just laugh at it. It's not a big deal. And Steven says, male 40, Los Angeles. Thank you for that. Says, still reviewing for my exam. Good, good. Steven says, it's hard to not get caught up in thoughts while studying. Yeah, of course, but you got to see what does it bring for you. I mean, honestly, like you can forego all your accomplishments, studies, your job, expertise in your job, whatever you accomplish in life, whoever you are, whatever you have learned in life, put them all aside as if they're worth nothing, and your whole worth and value and confidence depends on some, really honestly, I can't come up with a name, some bleh that you slept with and she doesn't want to be with you, so her giving it to you makes you whole, and not giving it to you makes you forget all other things that you're all about, and qualifications and certifications and importance and meaningful life that you have. I mean, think about it. It is you. It is only your brain. I mean, she's not doing anything about it either. You're just alone about yourself, and you're coming up with all these things as if she's important. Why is she important? She's not important to you really with the way she behaves, right? Of course not. So what is it? Oh, your desire for sex is ruling you, telling you to be bothered, offended, this and that, your confidence, your worth and value. Tell your desires to fuck off. You hanging on to me, I'm the one who chooses the girl, and if it works out, you get some. If it doesn't work out, fuck off. Shut up until next. You gotta show him who's the boss, man. You can't be running with your, being run with your dick. It's demeaning to you. You should know that. God damn it. So stop this bullshit and focus on your studies. Go get your fucking certificate and advance your life. It's hard not to think about it. It's hard not to think about any girl, especially if you've been with them. So why? Because you want sex and you're thinking about sex all the time, and everybody does. When they're not busy and when they're feeling happy and good, so they do. Or if somebody, has broken up with them, they constantly, oh, why I was rejected. A big fucking deal. Who is she? Okay, doesn't want you. Okay, big deal. Goodbye. So you're not living in an island with the only girl live there. So anyhow, and say, I think because by myself alone with the music playing, I keep thinking of my ex. Just look. You keep saying the same thing as if we haven't been talking at all. You're not using what we talked about. You keep going back to the time that we never talked about because you don't consider the stuff that we talked about. That's the part that you're supposed to be repeating to yourself, not the thoughts that you ruminate on the thoughts. Because you keep ruminating on the thoughts without considering what we talked about, without bringing them into the picture, then you'll be rewiring yourself. Neuroplasticity works against you. You become better and better and keep thinking about it. You got to interrupt that shit and bring all the things, all the reasonings, all the points that we talked about, discussed. And then you understand that she doesn't qualify. And she's no measuring stick to give you any kind of importance. Your importance has always come and will continue to come from your own accomplishments, not from where you get your, what does that mean? She's only valuable as long as she treats you nice and she's with you in a relationship. She's not, you wish her well, but you're not focusing on her anymore. She doesn't deserve your attention. That's it. She has the value of an ex-girlfriend, not the value of, oh, I want to be here. No. Don't you have respect for yourself? She said she moved away, so that means she's disqualified. That's the end of it. Look, I'm like a broken record because you allow your brain to keep entertaining that. You're supposed to veto the suggestion of let's think about her. You say, no, I want to focus on my studies. This is where it's going to bring me the bread. This is where it's going to bring me the next girlfriend. This is where it's going to, provide for me and my future wife or girlfriend or whatever. So you translate the benefits of what you should be doing and accomplishing and translate the negative effects of these intrusive thoughts, and then you make your choice. Which one you're going to spend your energy? You have only so much time during the day and so much energy and so much freshness to learn things. Which one are you going to spend it? On something that doesn't exist and it's bullshit and it's just going to waste your time, frustrate you. Oh, yeah. Or what you're going to think? You got food in the fridge. I don't know. You got barbecue chicken and rice. And you're sitting and thinking about I don't know, some other food that you had 2 weeks ago. I don't know, something, some Chinese dish that you liked. So you keep thinking about that Chinese dish. Is it going to do anything for you? No, you're still going to be hungry, right? But you have chicken in the fridge that you can warm up and eat, and it's delicious. So which one is a reasonable choice? Thinking about the food that is not available? You had it in restaurant and that was that day and finished. So thinking about it is going to get your hunger away, or going and warming up that and focusing on treating that chicken dish nicely, because that's the reality. So that's what you're doing. Thinking about the X is going to give you happiness and confidence and whatever and benefits. No, it's not even exist. And you should have disqualified it already. Or thinking about doing your things and bringing more vigor and productivity into your life and considering other possibilities and friends and so on. You know what I'm saying. So says, yes, I was just thinking that as you were speaking that it's my desire trying to control me. No, it's just, look, man, it doesn't make sense that at this mature state of your life, you actually allow someone who is not treating you well and doesn't reciprocate your emotions or your interests to be nearly in the vicinity of being qualified for your attention and occupy your mind. Just say the heck with it. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't run by my ego, and I don't need to be fluffed by the presence of some woman like that who didn't obviously appreciate me. So fuck her. That's what you say. And move on. Get it out of your head. That's it. Oh, Chesa says the room was dark and there were no noises. Just an empty chair with no mehran on. Oh, that's probably was resembling when I'm dead. No, and no longer available. So you guys will come to the net and see an empty chair, and you'll remember what we just said today. If no one is crying, well, I can continue. So, so let's see. Thank you for that, Chester. So thank God it wasn't any inappropriate sounds or washing dishes or something. All right. Okay. So, but we don't know how long it was going on. So I get it. Once it's processed, I will check it out. Hmm. Okay, fair enough. I should remember to turn it off. Feel like says, feel like, where's the protocol? Gender, age, and where you tuning in from? I'll get back to you then, because I have now. I'm going to be sticky on this particular rule. I need to know gender, how old you are, and a little cultural background by knowing which country you're watching this. And gender is important, so I know how to address you. And the age is important. I want to know how young you are, how old you are, if you should be here or not. And at the same time, to know what kind of language I can respond to your questions. So if I don't see the protocol, guys, like M for male, 20 for age, and country, France, whatever, wherever it is, or female, F, 32, I don't know, Indonesia, or whatever it is. So so Chester says, oh yeah, okay, got that. Stevia Sharma says, how to program or reset my subconscious mind, which is constantly pulling me back. Okay, I don't understand what the heck you're talking about. I need information, example, what it is, how to program my subconscious. What is it that you're doing? What is it that is happening? What is it that you want to forget or not pay attention to? And how old you are, what your gender is, where you're tuning in from, all that. So I go on to Aman. Is it bad thing to dream about being somebody knownful in future? I don't know what knownful means. Somebody famous? There's nothing bad about it. To dream that you're being famous in the future, I don't know what that means. S. Breezy says, this man is a living Gandhi. Oh my goodness, I can't be compared to Mr. Gandhi. Thank you for that, but it's a big shoe to fill, man. And thank you for the kind words, but nothing nearly as a giant that Mr. Gandhi was. Steven says, yes, I was just thinking it. Okay. Breezy says, my dreams are to join the SAS. Is SAS a military outfit in Breezy? Remember, guys, every time that you do write a question, again, please just add those three things, like Garima has done, F/18 India. Just three little things, because it reminds me again who you are, where you come from, and how old you are. I can't remember everything. Like, I know S. Breezy's been here many times and has been commenting, and I've responded to his comments, and he knows, and I know who he is, where he is, and all that, as far as his character intention. But I don't remember where he comes from every time, and the age. I just don't. I'm focusing on the question and the answer, so I don't remember. Garima says female, 18 India, but half an hour later, I don't remember. 18 years old. So put it in front of your question. That will be very helpful. And so what is SAS? Is it a military outfit? Says, if I ever get through this, I feel I can do anything. Yeah, of course you can. But this is just thought malfunctioning. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing changing you. There's nothing wrong with anybody who has OCD or HOCD. It's just that something they gotta, understand and educate themselves and manage it. That's all. You think the people that they're running around in your vicinity, they don't have OCD or they don't have any intrusive thoughts. Oh, they do. You can't see it from their faces, you know. Very respectful, very cordial, very, you know, attentive. But everybody has that. But the more you focus on it, the more it shows itself. And you gotta understand where it comes from. You gotta understand that sometimes amygdala doesn't let the information in the situation to get to prefrontal cortex for it to analyze and judge and make stories or understand it or perceive it. Nothing. It just amygdala is the center for the the auxiliary motion, actions, reactions. It just instinctively, anxiety, fighting, escaping, defending, protecting. And so when it kind of cuts in between and doesn't allow the process go to be processed and see if it's necessary for amygdala to do anything about it, it just gets in there and it gets into action and overthinks and over exaggerates and overprotects and gets everything into heighten and it gets you focus on something that is really just non-issue. But because you focus on it, because amygdala is making you to protect yourself, there's a danger here. Then you focus on it and then you start running with all kinds of interpretations. So get the focus out, meaning to begin with, when these thoughts show up, just don't focus on say, oh, fuck it, okay. Thank you very much, I understand, thank you very much. And then focus on, say, I'm aware of these thoughts. You say, it's not me, it's OCD, it's not me, it's HOCD. It's not me, it's the brain, and you focus on what you're doing. So don't pay attention, don't get into a conversation with them. Just recognize it's intrusive thoughts. Oh, I got it, intrusive thoughts, okay. Going somewhere else with it. I'm not gonna say, oh, intrusive thought, let's see what it says. No, intrusive thoughts, okay, what did you say, sir? You go somewhere else. So let them be. So yeah, I recognize you, intrusive thoughts. Yeah, thank you, you're here, yeah. Yeah, you're saying all kinds of images, nasty things that I don't appreciate. I got it, but I'm not interested. So don't try to say, why is it here? What does it mean? Oh, does it? So it means a conclusion of me being this and that. So, no, just don't. You got to put that into your system, how you react with it. All right, hang on, guys. Let me just, it's a bit chilly. All right. Just one moment. Okay, that's better. It's chilly now. Let me tell you what the West Coast Canadian climate is like right now. At this moment, it's about 10 o'clock p.m. It's 5 degrees Celsius. It's cold. I mean, it's okay. It's not that cold, but it's a crisp walk. But at least it needs, a jacket, not just what I was wearing. Okay. So Grima says, female, 18, India, says, hey, Mehran, hey, Grima, where have you been? It's been a while, hasn't it? Says, in the beginning of 2020, I was unknowingly in an emotionally abusive relationship. I'm focusing on the word unknowingly. How could you not know you're in an abusive relationship? Or were you because you were not sure that this person is abusive or is just not noticing his behavior and you were tolerating it or trying to manage it and stuff like that? Is that what you mean? In an emotionally abusive relationship, and in the end of 2020, I got into a relationship with an emotionally unavailable man. From one end of the pendulum to the other, all right? So neither one is good. Dump them both. Just because it felt familiar. All right. It says, I'm still healing after getting out of it. So, in other words, the first one, of course, you broke off, the emotionally abusive one, and then you got involved with the one who was not available, emotionally not available. And what is the process of your selection? Why your process of selection sucks so bad? When you notice an abusive relationship, you cut that right away. If it's not resolving, cut it off. And you never want to be entering a relationship when you know the other side is not available. But you got to find that out. The first question you got to ask someone after you've gone out for a few times, when you guys seems like being ready, maybe just before the first kiss, or through your conversation, through the one or two times that you go out, at least before that first kiss, you find out if you have told each other enough to know how you can assess if the other person is available emotionally or not. Is it looking for a relationship or a fling? If it's a fling, then you got to know. You may say, okay, I'm up for a fling. Or you may say, no, I'm not okay. I'm looking for a relationship. Then you will make your decision based on that knowledge. But if you just don't assume that because you're available, then he's available, then you're going to get burned like this, or you're going to get uncomfortable. You're going to find yourself in a situation that you're going to be chasing the person because he's not available. Even if you wanted to, you can't for the circumstances or situations. And then you become more and more interested because you want, and the person says, well, I want, but I'm not, I can't because, I have a wife or whatever the hell it is. And so you kind of taunt yourself. You kind of make yourself more interested without the guy doing anything, actually. And says, I'm still healing after getting out of it, but it has affected my mental health enormously. Well, just recognize that you made a mistake and move on. Why should it really mentally affect you if you understand that it's a bad judgment? The good news is that you're out of it, and the rest of it, all other cases, you're going to assess them separately, and you'll see if they're suitable for you to engage or not. So clean a slate, no problems right now. You're out of that. And you think that you've heard that people get mentally hurt because they were in a bad relationship. Yeah, okay, but you don't have to get hurt. It's not a standard reaction that everyone's brain must actually go through hardship after a breakup. No, we have been conditioned to think that we have to feel bad. Oh, I have to feel bad. I have to worry about what people think of me. I think of myself, or what criteria I did miss or I crossed, and I have to feel bad because I had a bad relationship. I had a bad situation. No, you don't have to feel bad. You can deal with the bad situation, get out of it, fix it all up, get rid of it, and then say, okay, problem solved. I got myself out of that situation. So I'm not mentally upset anymore. I'm good. You got to focus on the fact that the good is happening in your life and bring yourself back on top mentally by focusing on the fact that you actually recognize the problem and you somehow remedied it by getting out of it. And that's a good success. So mentality, you should be proud of yourself that you were able to manage that. However it was managed, whether you initiated or just happened to that way, it doesn't matter. But you're out of it. That's what you focus on. And says, I have been focusing on myself and my studies, but it's tough to get myself together. Could you please advise on any situation and self-love? Self-love is this. You don't have to follow this, what you've heard, that I have to feel bad because I have to punish myself because I did something bad. Yeah, you did something bad because you didn't want it, but not just because you wanted to do something bad. It happened to be a bad decision. So I suffered. It wasn't fun. I'm out of it. I forgive myself. Why? Because that's the only person who's going to forgive myself. And it's worthy of forgiving myself. I made a mistake. I fucked up. And now I'm out of it. I was brave enough to end it. Or somehow I'm out of it. That's all it counts. So you are feeling the residues of how you were feeling through the relationship. And immediately after it, that, oh, that was a bad decision. Why did I do that? Oh, that was shit. That was not good. Oh, what they're going to think of me? You know, who gives a shit? Life is too short. Before you know it, you don't even remember it. You've gone older and you don't care. So since that's how it's going to be in the future, well, why don't you enjoy it from now and say, I don't care right now. Not that 5 years from now when I'm older and I say, who gives a shit? This past, this past. I don't care. Because that's how you're going to feel then, well, feel it right now. Help yourself say, you know what? I did the mistake. I fixed it up. I got rid of it. However, I'm out of it. And I don't need to suffer anymore or punish myself or worry about it or, kind of, scold myself. Okay, I understand. I learned my lesson. That was a fucked up situation. I'm good. I'm good. I love myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm here. I've got no problems. The hell with it. I move on. And I will select better. I will keep my eyes and ears open next time. I will select better. I make the right questions. I assess better. So I don't want to simply take anybody into a relationship with me. I want to take someone who's qualified. I'm going to wait as long as it takes. So I'm going to, make better judgments. That's it. Okay? That's how you deal with it. I hope that helps. Steven says, absolutely, Mehran, will focus on my future rather than these stupid thoughts. And then God damn it, do it. Honestly, who are you working for? For her or for you? What's your interest in what the fuck she thinks and if she wants to be with you, give it to you or not? Wouldn't you focus on that? Whoever is not paying attention to me does not deserve my attention. That's how you should have the motto. I gotta find out why she discontinued. Who gives a fuck? Maybe she's crazy. Maybe she's way up there, above you. Okay, who cares? That's her decision, her assessment, not mine. Mine is that she's an idiot. That's how you think. That's it. And you don't want anything from her. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If she comes and knocks on your door right now and comes to your room and says, hey, take me, you say, no, thank you, move out. I know it's difficult if that ever happens. I know, but if you do that, like if you think that extreme, and if you actually in your thoughts do that, say, no, please leave. I have no interest in being in a relationship with you. Once she actually leaves, if it was real actuality, you feel amazing power. You will forgive yourself. You will not feel guilty about that you haven't loved yourself much. And you will feel proud that you did not simply fold it and just because, you wanted that. You just don't. You get your manhood back. Yeah? You feel like, okay, I'm in control. Now, right now, come on. Focus on being who you are, not being a pussycat. Oh, she doesn't want me. Big fucking deal. Honestly, gee, beat you guys in the head. And Steven says, if you did the home visits, you would have beaten me with an ugly sin. I would have had you, I don't know, broken in half by throwing the whole satellite over the orbit on top of your head. I'm saying things that I cannot be held responsible for it because it's impossible. I don't want to incite violence, but I would beat the crap out of you by words. 1,000 times already. Maybe that would be a good thing for me. No, I think you need to simply respect yourself, honestly. and move on. You're wasting your life. Wasting your life giving credit to someone who doesn't deserve that credit, all because you don't have enough confidence in yourself and you put yourself down and you think your worth and value is someone giving her body to you or not. If she does, then you feel, oh, I'm worthy. If she doesn't, well, why? You think that's where the worth and value of a man is, where he actually gets the girl into bed? No. That's when you actually make right decisions, find worthy relationships, respect yourself, and see if your selections are meaningful. And the ending of a relationship, you'll respect it because it's good for you and it's for good reasons, regardless of who initiates it. If she does, that means she's not worth your attention anymore, because obviously in this case she's just wishy-washy, and you don't want wishy-washy. But when they do that, because with their decision, some pleasure is taken away from you, and that's the pleasure that you're seeking. Oh, don't take that away from me where I would get sexual pleasure from. That's why you're hung up in. If she was not really turning you on and she had left the way this one is, you wouldn't give a shit, would you? So you can see it's not really her personality, it's the fact that you were getting pleasure from sex from her. And that you had turned her into being something that she wasn't. You weren't analyzing her, you were not gauging her, you were not evaluating her, you were just taking her for the face value of that. Oh, she gives me sex, she gives me pleasure, so she must be qualified. No. If that's the case, so many other women out there, you don't even know anything about them, but they're beautiful. Does that make him qualified? Damn sure you're going to say no, because you don't know them, right? Now, the ones that you do know them and get to know them and you have a relationship with them, they change their mind, why you still want them? Because now that they've changed their mind, you don't know them anymore. They're not representing the character that attracted you at the beginning, but you still want them. Why? It's not because of her. Obviously, she showed that her personality has changed and you have no interest in someone who doesn't pay attention to you. So what is it? It's just sex. But in the other end of the pendulum, if it was only sex, you see someone in the street and it's sexy and they say, you know, what do you think? Is she qualified? You say, I don't know. She looks sexy, but I don't know what's got up here. It could be shit up here. I don't know what she's into. You have that wisdom then. This is the same. Only the fact that you used to know her, but now you don't know her because she's changed her behavior. And because she has changed her behavior, you no longer can judge her based on the fact that you had sex with her and she was someone that was compatible, in at least she seemed like she was. You can't judge her like that anymore. You got to judge her now the same way you would judge someone in the street who's hot but you don't know her. And that's exactly what you should say. She's hot, but I don't know her, and because I don't know her, I don't know what she's like, how she's going to treat me, if I can trust her, and how we're going to connect or not, if she qualified or not. That's the answer you give, and that's the same answer you got to give. When you give the same answer when you think about this ex, you say, well, I don't know if she's qualified anymore. But when you think of her, you consider her qualified. You're not considering who she is today. You consider her who she used to be, and she used to be qualified in your mind. Therefore, you now continue thinking of her as if she's qualified. And she gives you had sex with her, so oh, I'm really missing someone qualified. But no, you had sex with her, yes, but she's no longer qualified. She used to be. So you got to think of her the same way you will think of her hot girl in the street, but you don't know her. You're not willing to commit to her because you don't know her. Same thing here. You don't know her. So you can't be wanting someone that you don't know. Okay. All right. Aldro says no message. Feel Life says, from India, 21 years old, male, I'm in college. Okay, thank you for that. Let's go back to his question. Says, sir, take my question. All right, I will. Feel Life says, how to move on from someone. My girlfriend left me to other guy. Will karma interfere? She cheated on me I hate her. Every time I think about her, I got angry. I don't need her back. I got angry. Well, karma has already taken care of it. Because that was her character, as you can see it now, but you couldn't see it then, but it's not apparent to you now, karma has done what it's supposed to do. Take her away from you because she wasn't worthy to continue being in a relationship with you. But you didn't have the balls or the guts to cut it off and tell her, go away, so the karma took it away. Now, instead of being happy, you're angry. Why? Because karma, universe, nature, did what you didn't have the balls to do. It did your job, protected you. And you're bringing a fuss and bitching about it. Why did karma take care of me? What do you want? What do you think karma is? For her to get killed? No, that's not karma. That's being vicious. That's criminal. You wish her well, but wish yourself well as well. Because karma already took care of you. Took her out of your life because she wasn't suitable. So you already got justice. She doesn't have to be hurt in any way, shape, or form by karma. Not at all. In fact, your karma is to wish her well. Because you wanted to wish her well to make sure she will never come back to you. Because you don't want her. You don't want that kind of character. You want someone who will be loyal to you as you would be loyal to her. So right now, karma has already done what it's supposed to do. Took that out of your life because it was not suitable, was not qualified. But you being the age you are, you couldn't see anything other than she's hot or whatever. You didn't have the balls. Her behavior did not stimulate you enough to encourage you enough to take the action and end the relationship. But karma saw it. Nature saw it. Say, this boy I'm going to protect. He's stupid and is hung up on the sexuality of this woman, and he doesn't have the balls to cut it off. I'm going to show him that he has to respect himself. So it did your job for you. So, problem solved. Now you got to be happy rather than angry and all that. No, say, okay, good ridden. I didn't have the balls to get rid of it, but nature made her to leave. Who left who? Who cares? The fact is that you're not together. That's what it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she left you for another guy. Why would in the whole world you want to be with someone who left you for another guy? The hell with her. That was already seen perhaps by the nature that this had to become apparent, that she would have to do something to convince you that she's no good for you. If she hadn't done anything like that, like if you hadn't found out that she's done things like this, you would have stuck with her. Maybe. If she had some other things in her mind. But lucky enough, she already left with another guy. So, which means she wasn't the right girl for you. Because if she was the right girl for you, she wouldn't be leaving with another guy. If she did, it doesn't take anything away from you. That's a reflection on her. What she does, the fuck up that she makes, it's not a reflection on you. You're not responsible for what she does, decides, and behaves like. It's a reflection on her. You're pissed off because you think what she did made something less out of you. No, it made something less out of her. But you're thinking, but I'm not getting the sex. Yeah, well, you're not getting the sex because sex is not what gives you value. Who that personality is does. And her personality obviously wasn't good enough because she left for somebody else, which means she wasn't good enough or qualified to be with you in a relationship. So that's already done, taken care of. Look at it the way it should be looked at. She should have gone so you could move on to find another one that is waiting for you. Yep. If this one was the right one, it wouldn't have left. Because there's the right one waiting for you in the future, this had to go so you could actually open up your eyes, start seeing and noticing the one who's waiting for you. When, where, whenever you're ready. And you will notice. At this point, just focus on the fact that thank God she's out of my life. Why? Because she was a cheater. And good thing I found out now rather than marry her, then she would cheat. Because if she's a cheater, you would know about it. You would want to know about it now before you make up your mind and your decision. Because once you make a decision, get married with her, and then she's the kind that was going to cheat anyhow, and then it's going to do it then. So, all good as far as I can look at it. Okay. Zadkill says 27 male Sweden. Says Meran, is it common for girls to behave like shitty girlfriends to push their boyfriends to break up with them and avoid the guilt of dumping some? All right, sometimes, yeah. Some coward assholes do that, but that's pretty fucked up brain to do that. Honestly, I mean, you don't want to have anything to do with jerks like that who actually go through that length to cause some kind of. You want to break up? Come and say, okay, I want to break up. Okay, bye bye. That's it. Yeah, but yeah. Don't tell me you're still hung up on her. Because honestly, after Steve, I'm gonna come right after you to Sweden, and break that ugly stick on top of your head when you have your motorcycle helmet on, so you won't get hurt. I gotta make sure what I say here. And Watcher says 24 male Toronto. Thank you for that, Watcher. Says I'm currently studying the law of the universe, but I'm struggling to apply the laws into my life. What do you think about the law of the universe? Well, I don't know what law you're talking about. Talking about what? Planetary orbits? What are you talking about? Black holes? Supernova? What are you talking about? So, in other words, when you say law of universe, is not something that it's the same for everyone unless it is elaborated that I understand what law you're talking about. Jeremy Bailey says, male 37 UK, says, I've recently started reading about Stoicism. It helps focus my mind on what's happening right now in my life, in my daily life, rather than not worry about the past and feeling anxious about the future. Good for you. Very good. Very, very good. This thing keeps it so hot that you're very careful when you want to take the first sip. So where are we? S. Breezy says, male 14. Oh, you're 14 years old. I never knew that. Did I know that? I didn't know that. Did I ask you if parents have allowed you to be here? Did I ask you? I think I asked you, didn't I? And you said yes or no. That's why it's important for you guys to let me know how old you are right off the bat. From now on, I'm not going to answer anybody who doesn't tell me that. Anyhow, Esprisi. Say, special UK force. Oh, special UK force. SAS. Oh, SAS. The SAS that I know. Yeah, okay. I remember when I was a kid, I was watching all these war movies, and SAS was always like, oh, it's SAS. Alexander Lorenzo says, male 27, New York City, says, can you share your thoughts on bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder? I don't think I've seen a video of you speaking about it. Thank you. Yeah, because I don't know much about it. Because I'm not a psychologist or psychotherapist. And I don't want to claim as if I am. I'm not. Therefore, I only talk about the things that they ask me and I know about, that I've researched, whether through the specialists and scientists that I've learned or researched and read, or through my own training and my own interests and discoveries, through masters of hundreds of years ago in a movement of the mind, the psyche, thoughts, consciousness, the relationship between thoughts and consciousness. Where do thoughts come from? How is consciousness born and put together? What about desire? What about fear? What about pleasure? What about ego? What about order? What about mechanical process, material process? These are the things that I have trained and studied and researched, let's say. So, and I've written a book on subject, so I can share that. But I'm not a psychotherapist, I'm not a psychologist, I don't have any medical degrees, so therefore I rely on the experts and the medical experts and the journals that have been their presentations, and learn from their researchers, and then be able to use it in order to deliver what needs to be understood by you the way it should be understood. Evidence, whether philosophical evidence coming from 1,000 years ago or too few hundred years ago, whether it's discoveries of Aristotle or Mr. Krishnamurti, or it's scientific research presentations that different specialists and neuroscientists or surgeons have done, and I watch their presentations, I study their presentations, and then I see what part of it could be helpful in delivery of what I want to deliver. So that's why on borderline personality disorder, I don't know enough to make a video on it. And what I know is just what I know. It's not necessarily coming from most credible sources, therefore I don't make a video on it. Steven says, it's about 70 degrees over here in Los Angeles. It was really cold here last week, but can't compare it to where you are. Well, it's very fresh. In fact, when I finish with you guys in about half an hour, I probably finish my tea, play a game of chess, and go for a walk by the ocean, which probably would be about 4 or 5 degrees. And if I'm not too lazy, but I think with what I ate, I better go take a walk. Still still have the windows open and fan. Oh, really that hot? Yeah, it's 70 degrees, that's about 20 degrees Celsius. It's pretty warm. We're no longer used to that heat. You know, when I was growing up in Iran, it was very hot. I remember the days that we were going horseback riding with the team and being trained. It was hot. Like, it was hot. I'm saying it was hot, but we didn't care. Short sleeve and riding boots and riding attire and horses. We were just busy training. We could notice it's hot, but didn't care. But we could endure it. Like, I remember how hot it was. And here, though, things are not as hot as they used to be. I remember when I was practicing tennis with my son in the tennis courts, it was one day it was 33 degrees, 33 degrees Celsius. That's hot. And we were still playing and enduring it. But we also can be durable and take the other side of the pendulum when it goes 1 degree or -3, -4. I used to take my soccer ball, go to the field, and kick the ball back and forth just to get some exercise. Now it's like 1 degree, I go for a walk and fingers feel frozen, but just move it, and feel good. Go for a 3 kilometer walk and come back. But we are not used to that heat as we were when I was a kid, because Canada is not that hot. So anyhow, I don't know what I was getting at, but some say, I guess. And Aman says, I feel sad and lonely because I have girls who interested in talking with me but have no emotions and drive or attraction towards them. They walk away and I feel more lonely and feel like 80-year-old. Then what are the choices? What are your preferences? Does it not mean that you should talk to those girls? Why do you have to be sexually interested at that moment in order to have a conversation? I think if you have a conversation and don't look for anything, don't look for excitement, don't look to see if she turns you on or not, just have a conversation with another human being and let her see if her personality, your personality, feel comfortable to continue a conversation. That's all. All you want to do is a conversation. Nothing else you expect. Says, I force myself to like girl, but then my heart pushes more away. I don't know why I feel resistance while liking them like before. Because you simply are bamboozled by your brain and you're paying attention to what the brain conjures up. You have the choice to ignore the brain and focus on what you think is right for you and how it has been and how you prefer it to be. So take steps in order to facilitate that environment for yourself. So talk to the girls, enjoy the conversation, don't expect anything from it, move on, and then so on and so forth. And you will be able to see how things start changing, because you're not going into a conversation expecting some big change, and when you don't see the big change in you, they get disappointed and say, oh, it's not going to work, so I'm not going to continue. So you set yourself up for disappointment because of the expectations that you have. But if you go into that conversation as just this a nice human being, she's cordial, and she wants to talk, I talk to her, that's it. And you don't expect anything. You just talk, finish, you go about your thing. But you don't judge, oh, but I didn't feel anything when I wasn't seeming interested. So why am I not interested? I'm impatient. I create anxiety that it didn't happen what you expected to happen. Why I haven't talked to this girl. No, these are all nonsense. Just talk to her and don't want anything. Neither internally nor externally, and don't try to analyze it afterwards. Oh, I didn't feel anything. I expected to feel something, but I didn't feel. It's not like before. These are why you're not getting back to how you were sooner, because you're constantly expecting something, and when it doesn't live up to what you expected, then you sabotage. So, oh, see, it's not going to happen. It's not going to. Then you create more anxiety. Don't do that. Be smarter than that. The dumb brain is controlling you instead of you read off to it and don't pay attention to it. It's a monkey. That's all. Garima says, I understand it after getting out of it. My first boyfriend was emotionally unavailable too. And I blamed myself throughout for being not a good girlfriend. And I realized I got into my second relationship. To fix it. I see. Yeah. You got in the same kind of shit and tried to fix it, thinking that if I fix it, then that means I didn't make a mistake on the first one because I fixed this one, which was the problem. I don't know what's in my mouth. Garima says, I thought maybe, oh yeah, okay, we got that. All right. I thought maybe if I would have done differently, the outcome would have been good. I recognized my toxic patterns and I left. Okay, good. Grandma says, now I'm focusing on myself, but have been struggling. I don't love myself enough and I feel worthless. Why? Why you don't love yourself? Are you not human? Are you not subject to mistakes? Why do you expect you should be so perfect in making your decisions? Why? Is it your second run of this same life that you should have known everything? You're not entitled to learn things. You were born out of your mother's womb all wise and all that. No. So what kind of expectation you have from yourself that you say you don't love yourself because you make mistake? Well, look, I've got news for you. Every one of us do make mistake on a daily basis. As long as you do your best, look. Professor Ferris from Lewis and Clark, which was my advising professor in business administration department. In one of his classes, and I was attending, I was over 43 years ago. Was it? Yeah, 45 years ago. He said, at the time one makes a decision, one believes that that decision is correct. Think about it. At the time you make a decision, you believe that that decision is correct. If it wasn't, if you didn't think it was correct, you wouldn't have made that decision. So you were convinced, given the information you had at the time that you were making the decisions, you made that decision. Now later on, if some other information showed up, like the behavior of this person being abusive and all these other things, well, you didn't have that information when you were making the decision. So you couldn't have understood what you understand now before you made the decision, because at that time, such information that is available to you now wasn't available then. So you couldn't have expected yourself to have made a different decision than the one that you made, because at the time that you made that decision with the information that was available to you, that decision seemed correct because you did your best. That was all you could have found out. And your wisdom was in a level that could only make that decision. Now you're more mature and you've seen a thing or two and you've analyzed a thing or two, and you expect yourself not to have made the decision that you couldn't have made it any other way, but only now you think that way because now you have other different information and experiences under your belt. This is not fair the way you're treating yourself. Then you did your best, and that's how it was because of the limitation of your knowledge, experience, wisdom, and the information that was available to you. Later on, now you have seen a thing or two and you will make better decisions in the future. That's how life is all about, isn't it? Now you want to punish yourself because you've been conditioned since childhood that if we do something bad, we got to be punished. And unless we are punished, we're not forgiven. And if we are not forgiven, we are not whole. So I got to punish myself. Now nobody's there to punish you, so you're going to punish yourself. You're going to deprive yourself from loving yourself. That's stupid. You're doing the same thing that the fucking idiots at the school and at your childhood did with you. And they're still doing with this and that. Those teachers, those authorities and all that, that's how it treated you. And you're treating yourself the same way. You're conditioned to think that unless you're punished, you're not good enough. So you don't love yourself now. Why don't you go beyond that? Elevate yourself. That trying to punish children, depriving them from attention and love, because they made a mistake, because they're a child, because they're children, because they don't know any better. Instead of understanding that and trying to teach yourself that, okay, you learned something, good that you learned something, this is good, Now, next time you make a better decision because this information is now available to you. Instead of doing that, you're saying, I don't love myself. Why? Who's going to benefit here? Huh? Oh, suddenly you're your own parents? You're your own teacher? That in order to make yourself high and mighty, you got to punish the child? To demean them? To put them down? To feel big? Now you're doing the same thing to yourself. You have become separated yourself from yourself, and you say, in order to preserve myself that I am not this person who made these mistakes, I'm going to punish this. Who are you punishing? Yourself. You're punishing yourself in order to look good in your own eyes. Who's that? Your own thoughts are created from outside. You're looking at yourself. You're separating yourself from the person who actually you are. And you're not loving it because you want to punish it, because you made a mistake, because you put you through hardship. Why? Because you couldn't do any better. That's all you knew, and it was normal. Now, instead of giving love to yourself and nourishing yourself, teaching yourself, giving yourself into your bosom and learning about life, through experiences, through mistakes sometimes, you're punishing yourself. You're becoming the same asshole that you were being treated as a student in the classroom, or whatever authority that was there that was treating you like that, raising you with punishment. Don't go for that. Raise yourself and your children with communication, explanation, wisdom, knowledge, love. All right. Be good to yourself, always. Garima. John Anesi says, hey, Meron, John, Syracuse 30. I think it took 6 months of me getting ugly stick for me to let go of my 5-year relationship. Oh, have you finally let go eventually? Says the ugly stick always will work. Yep. I don't know. Does that mean you're being good, or you need ugly stick? Because that ugly stick is getting uglier and uglier because it's beating lots of ugly people. And every time it does, you know why it's called ugly stick? Because it hits the ugly person, the person who's behaving ugly, behaving not correctly, not loving himself or herself, not taking good care of himself or herself, and making constant bad treatment and allowing these previous experiences and the partner left or whatever to stay. So when the ugly stick hits them, ugly stick takes their ugliness and they get their self back. That's why it become ugly stick. It's got lots of energy in it. So when it hits you, it gets all the ugly stick. That's a good explanation. But the reality is different. It beats the crap out of you until you say, I see it now. So Stephen says, that's nice quote, Meron. Yeah, thank you. Yes. See, my son's gift to me. One of the many gifts. Cartoon says 30 male India. Thank you for that. Cartoon says, hey Meron, hope you're doing good. Thank you, Cartoon. Appreciate it. And thank you for being here. Aman says, when I tell my friends that I want to be famous in the future, he drags me down and say you did nothing yet to, he tries to show because he's scholar kind of, and he thinks I'm not worthy of thinking like that. Well, he may be thinking that by putting you down, he still keeps himself look good by being high and mighty. At the same time, he's from the old stupid school of putting someone down to encourage them. No, you can be whatever you put your mind to it. And it's not about being famous. It's about being knowledgeable and educated and understand how to negotiate life and make best decisions that you can. That's what it's all about. It's not about being famous. And if you want to be famous, you can do that too. Because you can do anything you put your mind to it. So don't let anybody says anything otherwise. He says, I'm cocky and cannot do something like I'm thinking about. No, it's full of shit, because whether you're cocky or not, you can learn and you can adjust and you can modify yourself and have the right attitude for success. And however, if you want to just not work and just expect to be famous, well, that's kind of not the right path to go either. Watcher says 24 male Toronto. Some of the laws of the universe I'm studying are laws of attraction, laws of action, laws of karma, and etc. Yeah, well, just be a good person. Don't worry about these laws. Honestly. Laws of attraction. Think good, positive, and do your best. You gotta always attach proper action to those intentions that you have. Otherwise, no intention is gonna come to be anything without action. So you gotta put them into action. You can't be just thinking hamburger, hamburger, hamburger. Oh, now I feel I'm no hungry anymore. No, you gotta go get the stuff and come and cook and then eat. And you can't be just eating hamburgers. Okay, I've got a strong mind now. I've got a strong. No, you're eating. You're gonna get a big belly, not a strong mind. It's not a meditation. So mind has its own rule and body has its own rule. So you gotta, observe both of them in order to bring harmony to yourself. And in order for you to understand all these law of attraction, law of karma, and law of all this, it's all meaning do your best and understand how to be in harmony with the universe, not do things to get something. Law of attraction, yeah, think positively, but put the work and education into it. Otherwise, you can't be just thinking, oh, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, then I'm going to. No. You got to couple it with action. Things that needs to be done, preparation, knowledge. But what's to, struggle? Because every mind has negativity into it, and you think because you're having a normal negative mind sometimes, then that means it's going to ruin the law of attraction. No. Overall, focus positively on when you are trying to accomplish something and do your best. Because when you focus on something that you're trying to accomplish wholeheartedly, your attention will increase. When your attention increases and focusing on the quality of what you're trying to accomplish, then you will accomplish it in the best possible way because your attention is fully there. When your attention is there, quality of work will be there. When quality of work will be there, naturally it's going to, be done properly, and it's going to attract the attention. It's going to attract the praise and be as effective as it was designed to be, and then you will see the rewards that way. So it's all about focusing your attention in the moment that you're involved in making an effort. Focusing all of your attention in the moment that you're involved to make an effort in order to accomplish something. And then that's done. In short, there's a lot to talk about on this. Watcher says male 24, Toronto, some of the laws. We did that. Just did that. Agent Stefan says, Maron, I'm talking to a girl I have excellent chemistry with. However, my faith is very important to me, and it's not her, and it's not to her. We don't have the same moral groundings. She doesn't attend church, so what? Why does she have to attend church to be a good person? If that's the case, then all the Muslims, all the Hindus, all the Christians, all the Jews, all the people who are from different religions, they all seem not good people to each other because they're not from the same church or mosque or synagogue or temple. So, and this girl, doesn't go to church, but she believes in being who she is. She has certain principles that she's following. Obviously, even though not going to church attracted you, and you guys are actually feeling good toward each other. So don't judge people just because they go to church or not. How many people go to church and how many of them are assholes? Not everybody who goes to church is great. And so not everybody who doesn't go to church or goes to other churches or he doesn't go to church, any church at all, is a bad person. Before we became religious or part of any church or any religion in any shape or form, we were all human beings. Before that, we were all the same, like we're having lots of things in common. But through religion, instead of actually becoming closer to each other, we have chosen to take a path that is not intention of religion, separate ourselves from each other. Suddenly they became what makes us different, instead of churches and religions become where we can become stronger and come together. They lost their original intention. Now you're saying, oh, she doesn't go to church, it's not good enough for me. Because you're going to feel more comfortable, because you think whatever you've created, whatever you believe in, you're going to recruit others into it to look good in front of the eyes of that whatever is watching you. Don't do that. Because before they are any religion, they are the child of the same universe. Same God, same universe, same nature, whatever you want to call it. So, focus on, see if you guys can bond on conscious level rather than on each other's religion. What if she changes her religion? What if you change your religion? What if you someday is mad of, I don't know, people in your church or the church, or something goes wrong? Don't put so much condition on human relationship. But if you guys are so far apart, regardless of religious or not, you can't appreciate each other's mentality, well, that's a different story. And says, but she said she would gladly attend with me. Should I pursue someone who would just appease me but doesn't have the same morals? What do you mean morals? What makes you think that you're such a great person because you go to church? How do you conduct your life? Look at those. How does she conduct her life? If in her life she's doing good as far as the way she behaves and all these other things, she's a good person. She doesn't have to go to church for that, or mosque, or synagogue, or temple, or anywhere, monastery. Or is your life perfect because you go to church? Or only the part that you go to church and you say whatever you're supposed to say, so you're supposed to get all the kudos that you're a good person because you comply to one thing. Church is supposed to make you more understanding, compassionate, and be able to bond with your family or friends better, other people better. Not supposed to be used to think the others are less because they don't come to church with you. And if she comes to church with you, which is respect and care about you, then you're going to brand her, oh, she's just coming to appease me, not because, what do you want to brainwash her to something that you believe in? She's a free person. Maybe she likes to believe in her universe or nature or God in a different path, without any middleman, without any church or mosque or synagogue or temple or monastery, just on herself, on her own belief. What's wrong with that? Don't judge people like that. You're not supposed to become that kind of a judgmental just because you are religious or attend church, and the ones who don't, they're not good. But if they want to come with you, but they're not good either, because they're coming with you only because they want to come in with you out of respect. They don't really believe it. So what are you doing then? What is it that you want from her? So you're working for God. You want her to be recruited to a church of some kind of a, group that believe in the same thing. It's not like if she has commonality in her consciousness with you, you want her to have a commonality in her consciousness with the church. It's neither here nor there. You're not the church. You're not what the church thinks. You're you, and you have certain things that you feel that you want to be part of by participating in some religious ceremonies or beliefs. But don't bring that into her life by force. She wants to come with you. That's very nice of her. What if she was just the person that you say she is, but she had a different religion? But she would still come to church out of respect. Are you going to diss that too? Are you going to go to her place of worship out of respect? So if you can see that obviously she's being more cordial to you than you would be to her, because I don't think with the way you're sounding like, you wouldn't go to her place of worship out of respect or anything, because you would think it's against your own beliefs, so you would never go there. But she is actually going there. That's very open, very nice. So judge her for who she is, not what she believes or doesn't. In actuality, see who she is. And she's showing it to you who she is. You're not seeing it. All right. I don't know enough anymore about you or her to say anything more, but I think that should give you the gist of it. Noon No One says, I have problem with HOCD, and Noon, I need to know your gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. I have two playlists: Intrusive Transient OCD, HOCD Negative Thoughts, and Intrusive OCD, HOCD Short Videos. These two playlists will help you to get to know a lot about what you're asking, No One, and links for psychotherapists, psychologists specializing in OCD, HOCD, and so on are in the description of the videos that I have in these playlists, like Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, many of them. There's Dr. Owens. These are all researchers of this, but the first three are actually clinical psychologists, psychotherapists specializing in OCD and HOCD. So you can watch their programs with the links that I put in there, and you become informed. And you can watch my videos, which they are put together for that purpose alone. Zach says, hey, sir, you have helped so much that I no longer have any issues. Delighted to hear that. Zach M says,
is there something else I can help with?
No, you just be quiet, Siri. I'm talking. This Siri, I can't teach you well. Zach M says, to anyone struggling, the secret is to really learn to allow image to come. Okay, you're writing for other people. Okay. Images to come as if they are nothing to you. Yeah, that's right. Good, Zakam. Good for you. Stephen says, good night, Maran. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, Stephen, good night, dear. And Watcher says, thank you, Maran, for your help. You have helped me through many difficulties. I'll be going now. It's 1:48 a.m. over here on the East Coast. Take care. Okay, dear. Thank you for staying with us. It's about 11. In about 4 minutes, I'll also close shop here. And Chester says, Maran, you should definitely patent the ugly stick. The ugly stick, guaranteed to beat the crap out of your intrusive thoughts. Warning, please wear a helmet when using the ugly stick on your. Yes, that would be exactly the kind of product and the warning that would be written on it. And Gone Rogue says, hey, Miran. Hello, Gone Rogue. It's been a while now. You've been here before. It's been so long, I don't quite remember. Says, how are you? Male 25, South Africa. Yeah, I think I remember. What can I do to stop OCD that's making me obsess from one obsession to another? One day it's HOCD, on another day it's fear of autism or contamination. Yeah, you've got OCD for OCD. that's my coin phrase. I have a video on that actually. It says OCD for HOCD or OCD for OCD. I think treat it the same way as if it's one OCD. Like it's no difference than this OCD changes to that OCD, changes to that OCD. Now what do I do? Well, the same thing if it wasn't changing at all. Every time the same remedy. Don't pay attention to it. It's a thought. It's a brain's thought, not your thought. If you recognize that and focus on the separation of brain, thoughts, and you, then you'll be fine. Watch my latest video that I've dropped. I don't know how many of you have watched it. Looks like many have. In the first 24 hours, looks like over 240 people have watched it, which is quite a thing for the kind of videos that we make on this channel, because they're not necessarily for entertainment, they're serious stuff. So that many people watch that long a video. It's 50 minutes, but it clears your head about what is the relationship between, or difference between you and the brain. And that perhaps is necessary for you. Chester says, Mehran, you should definitely, oh, okay, you said that one. And then Aaron says, wow, I subscribed to you about 6 months ago when my girlfriend cheated on me. I tried to take your advice and failed. Got back with her. You didn't take my advice. Got back with her and it has happened again. We're still living together. Then you can watch the same videos that you watched last time and get over it. This time, don't get back with her if you break up. Guys, it's time for me to say goodnight. I thank you very much for being here. I love you all. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. And thank you for being here. And I look forward to talk to you again next Saturday, 1 p.m. Vancouver time, and next Saturday, 9 p.m. Vancouver time, hopefully. If not sooner, I'll see you guys here again. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.